Hello guys, welcome back to our online classes, and today is time for a review. So guys, let's start with the first topic, future perfect, right? So future perfect, we formed the structure for future perfect using will, have, and the very past participle as we can see here, right? Will, have, flown, right? Now we analyze the sentence, we can understand that this event will have finished by a certain point in time. I want you to notice that it's very common to use by to signal when the event will be finished. For example, it will have flown on average 60,000 kilometers by next year. Let's continue. We also have future perfect continuous. The groundhog will have been hibernating for almost 9 months. We form the future perfect continuous by using will, have, being, verb, and ing, as we can see it here, right? If we analyze the sentence, we can see that the groundhog in this case will be doing something for a period of time. This activity will have a duration of 9 months. In this case, this is very specific. So we're going to talk about something that will have a duration in the future, and usually is used to talk about very specific situations. Let's continue, sorry. We also have another topic that we also touched was prepositions. A preposition is a word that is used to show the relationship between a noun and a pronoun with another word, right? In this case, the relationship between the book and the table is that it's on the table, sorry. Prepositions can be a word or a phrase. They can be followed by a noun phrase or an ing form too. In this case, we have here, for example, in line with the USGS definition, in line with is the preposition, right? Or here, we can see that without is the preposition, right? If a preposition starts in an ing clause, the verb has the same subject as the verb in the main clause. For example, as a result of experiencing severe dust storms, China started planting trees in their deserts. In this case, we can see that as a result, we have as a result as a preposition. This is starting an ing clause. Then we can notice that it shares the same subject as the main clause, China. Yeah. Okay. We also have other prepositions. Some prepositions can be followed by the fact that and a clause. For example, Antarctica is a desert apart from the fact that it's one of the coldest places on Earth. Apart from is the preposition. We can see that we follow the preposition with the fact that and then we have a clause. However, we have another case. The Gobi Desert has spread due to the fact that agricultural practices have changed. At the beginning of this clause, we have the Gobi Desert as the subject. Do is a preposition, but in this case the next clause has a different subject, agricultural clauses. It's not the same as the Gobi Desert, right? So instead of using the fact that, we're going to use to the fact. Another topic that we also touched during this unit was adverbs, right? Adverbs are words that are used to describe verbs or adjectives. He moves quickly. Moves in this case is a verb, and we're using the adverb quickly to describe it. Adverbs usually finish on ly, for example, continually and originally. However, there are some adverbs which can be irregular and have a different structure, like already or still. Adverbs usually follow a common preposition after the first auxiliary verb. For example, am, is, are, right? And we have here this case, well, am, is, are, but these are just an example. We're talking about all auxiliary verbs. In this case, we have has, already. Has is the auxiliary, and after that, we have the adverb. However, some adverbs that say how and how much, or that describe the participle, tend to go before the participle, yes? Alternatives to the compass were being intensively developed. In this case, we can see that intensively is the adverb. This adverb is not used after the auxiliary verb, but is being used before developed. Some adverbs can go in both positions. For example, GPS is increasingly being used, or GPS is being increasingly used. In this case, increasingly can be used in both positions. We also talked about the passive and the past models. We can use passive with the past models. The meaning will remain the same. However, as in passive structures, the focus will be in the object and not in the subject. He could easily have been killed. In this case, we have a passive structure and we're using a past model, right? So the structure will be past model, have been, and past participle. The verb has a different pattern in the active and the passive when it's followed by a verb. They made him sleep in the police cells. This only applies with the verb make, right? He was made to sleep in the police cells. When you see it in passive, we will add to after the verb make. Now, we also talked about pronouns and prepositions in relative clauses, right? We can also use pronouns in relative clauses. For example, in 3 years, the company had more than 85 customers, all customers up to the site. So instead of saying again all the customers, we can use all of whom, right? And this will help us to avoid repetition. The most common used pronouns, right? Are all of whom, many of which, most of which, to whom, and to which. Of course that we're going to change the relative pronoun according to what we're talking about. We're talking maybe about things, we're going to use which. We're going to talk about people, we're going to use whom. And remember, prepositions are not only the ones that I have here in singular, okay? So you take that into account. Finally, we also talk about some, any, other, others, and another. Some, any, other, others, another are determiners, and we use determiners to provide information about a noun or to introduce a noun. Let's go with the first one, some. Lower prices will tempt some people, and some will be attracted by special offers. We use some before a noun or as a pronoun, and some means certain or some, but not all. In this case, we're using it 2 times, right? It will tempt some people, not everyone, but just some. Okay? And here we're using it again, some, and this some is talking about people, but we're not mentioning people again. Any store that makes people feel at ease will probably generate more business. We use any before a singular, count, or non-count. Means no difference and can be used for a person or a thing. So in this case, for example, any store that makes people feel at ease. We're not talking about Walmart, we're not talking about PriceMart, we're talking about any store, right? It's not specific. We also have other. Stores need to find other ways to attract customers. Other evidences suggest music can actually irritate people. We use other before a plural or non-count noun. This refers to extra, additional, or different people or objects, right? So in this case, when we say other evidences, we're saying that these are different evidences, not the ones that we were talking before, right? Yeah. Or here, stores need to find other ways to attract customers. This is saying that these ways are no longer good, but we have to find different ones. We also have another. Another store might offer self-service. We use another before a singular count. It means one more or a different one. So this one we can also use for a different one, but we can also talk about an additional one. Okay? So guys, with this we're going to finish the review. As you saw, we just very quickly touch on the grammar points that we have learned during these units, and on class we're gonna have a review. So guys, thank you for watching today's video. I'll see you in class.